Yes, hello everyone, welcome back to Newcastle Fans TV. I hope you're doing alright. So there seems to be a little bit of movement the last couple of days with the likes of Joao Pedro, Anthony Elanga and James Trafford. We're going to talk about that today, so let's get going. So I want to start off straight away with the Chronicle, surprisingly, claim that talks with Brighton are at an advanced stage for Joao Pedro. They claim that Brighton are willing to sell at the right price. Now the Chronicle claim that sources at the club have told them that they are very optimistic with the signings, that they'll have players in the door before pre-season begins. That's quite an ask. Now, Newcastle have allegedly bid for 50 million for Pedro, but Brighton want up to 60 million. The tricky point of this is that Watford have a 20% sell-on clause, hence why Brighton are asking for more money. We did look at Joao Pedro whilst we was at Watford, but we had a Swedish striker who was a little bit better. But Pedro, obviously there is some links, rumours, saying that he wants to move to London. He's already had one of his colleagues, teammates, come out and say that. Is he holding out for a move to Chelsea? I don't know. If he comes to Newcastle, will he play often? Probably. I don't think he's going to disperse Alexander Isak anytime soon, but Pedro can play in the 10. He can also do a job on the left if needs be as well. So again, it gives Eddie Howe a couple of options that he's not just a striker. He can play out wide, and he's a good penalty taker as well. A lot of his goals last season, almost half of them were penalties. So if Isak's not around, we have a penalty taker specialist there who can step up. And look, we know that Pedro's talented. He's scored against Newcastle before. We know that he can bring out something a little bit flamboyant. He's a Brazilian style. He can do it on his own. He has that in his locker. But how much are you going to go for Pedro? Now, the Chronicle are going really strong on this. They're the only ones going strong on this today about Pedro. And I think he's a good squad addition. Does he improve Isak? Look, nobody's going to improve Isak. And can we just stop the links with Alexander Isak, because it's getting a bit boring now, isn't it? I say that, but other clubs will be probably saying that we're getting bored about talking about James Trafford. So it kind of goes the same way, but they're a little bit frustrating is the word I'll use, some Liverpool fans online. But look, he's not going anywhere. He's got another 3 years. Competition, we need that. It doesn't look like Wilson's obviously going to come back to do the play as you pay deal. He's obviously on DAZN at the moment doing punditry if you've been watching the World Club Cup of Shea Given, which I have. Not all the games, but some of them. But look, it'll be a good squad addition, 100%. We need squad depth now. We've seen it 2 years ago when injuries ravaged. We're having to have the likes of Ben Parkinson, Michael Ndweedy, Alex Murphy. Lewis Miley broke through. That's probably the positive out of the injuries. But you don't want them 2 goalkeepers on the bench. You don't want all them on the bench. You want someone, right, after 65 minutes, Isak's having a bad game, he's knackered, which is rare. But you can take him off and bring Pedro on. Or if Murphy's struggling, you can bring Murphy off and you're not bringing on an Almiron anymore. You're bringing on a higher caliber player. Or you've got an injury. You see where I'm going with this. You need better players to come off the bench. And I think that's a given. And Luke Edwards was interesting what Luke Edwards did say. He claimed that 125 million bid has gone in for Trafford, Pedro and Elanga. We'll come to that in a minute. But I do want to talk about our sponsors today, which are NordVPN, who are giving us this video the opportunity to bring this forward to you. £2.13. I say that again, £2.13 you can get NordVPN, and you get an extra 4 months. NordVPN are class. I've signed up for it. I need it because I'm up and down the motorway. Doesn't matter if it's in Asia or the Champions League. I'll be using NordVPN. They do your malware protection. They've got ad blockers, tracker blockers. You can change your location. It's the best. It's £2.13p. Absolute bargain if you need a VPN. Link is in the description. It's on this video and it's also in the pinned comments. The best VPN that's out there, 100% it is. So get yourselves a bargain. Now, I wanted to go on back onto what Luke Edwards said, as he claims that 125 million bid went in for Trafford, Joao Pedro and Elanga, and this was yesterday. So obviously the fast forward, the Joao Pedro story with the Chronicle is now developed this morning. But that's been rejected, say the Times. So on the back of that, the Times have said no, they've all been rejected. Obviously we know that the PSR's coming shortly, so Newcastle or wait until the 1st of July onwards to make them official, but you can still put bids in before then, of course. That we're just going to wait past the 1st of July, which is only a few days away now. And out of those 3, can Newcastle get all 3? I think 2 is probably realistic because you're never always going to get your transfer targets. That's just the way the business works. But Elanga would be great competition for Murphy. There's people hit and miss about him. I think what Eddie Howe will do, and history tells you, Eddie Howe can improve players. And I've got no doubt about it that Eddie Howe can improve Elanga to even better what he is. He's had a fantastic season playing on the counter-attack with Nottingham Forest, chipping in with goals and assists. He's a better player since leaving Man United. But then again, Scott McTominay is a star in Serie A, so that tells you, doesn't it? Have faith that Eddie Howe will improve these players, 100%. I've even got faith that James Trafford. I've come more around to the idea now. I don't think Trafford, if he came in and we got him, would displace Nick Pope. I think Pope will stay in goal and then eventually Trafford will come in. I don't know if it's like 6 months into the season or if he has to wait a full year and just plays some of the cup games. But I think Trafford will be Newcastle's number 1 eventually. Why we're paying that much for him, over 30 million? You're not going to have a £30 million goalkeeper sitting on the bench for long, are you? Let's be honest. But wait and see on that. You might have seen the 3rd away kit came out as well. Now, it very much stinks of AI, doesn't it? I think the top looks real. But some of them pants that Anthony Gordon's wearing, Isaac's wearing, Joelinton and Beth Lumsden, nah, not for me. Not for me. I think the picture, it allegedly was on the Adidas website, but they've took it down. But that's definitely AI pants. That's not them. They've been shot into those 100%. But it obviously gives you a throwback to, I think it was 99, that kit. I remember Gillespie playing in it and Shearer playing in it. I'm not a big fan of it. I'm not going to lie to you. I do like Newcastle's home kit. And I do like it. I do like the blue going round as well. I should have actually got it. It's upstairs. Should have brought it down. But obviously we're waiting for the second kit, and it could be released. The away kit could be released whilst we're out there, out in Asia, as they did last year as well, which you can get it cheaper when you're abroad as well. But yeah, I'm not a massive fan of it. I kind of like it. I didn't like it. I just didn't like it. I didn't like the badge. I'm not a fan of it. Not for me. Not for me at all. Katie Barker on Newcastle United Women has talked about her departure finally after spending 5 years at Newcastle United. She's a local lass, scored goals for fun, and it was heartbreaking to see how some of the players were treated, to be honest, originally. Obviously, it looks like the club have backtracked and give her a great interview and memories to take away, which was nice because I think they've got a lot of it wrong, the way some players were handled. I don't want to go into too much. We know a little bit about it, but it's not our place to say how some players were treated. But great to see Katie Barker get an interview, and hopefully she goes on and has a fantastic career wherever she is going to go. Lewis Hall. Oh my God, was it great to see him back on the training pitch, everybody. He was on the training pitch, he's on his own, jogging, and it's just great to see. There were some stories I've seen the last 24 hours that he might not make pre-season till the end of pre-season, but he's nearly back, and he's such a talent. What a play. Again, I just talked about Eddie Howe improving players. Look at Lewis Hall. He came in from Chelsea on loan, barely featured, and then he got his breakthrough, and he's never looked back since. England left back now, and England's next left back for the next 10, 15 years. So brilliant to see him back. Can't wait for that. Also, Joelinton, this is on my personal TikTok if you want to say this. Joelinton's been training with his original club that gave him his chance, which is Club Sport Recife. I think I pronounced that right. That's on my TikTok. And he is over there training at the moment, building his fitness. And I've got no problems about that. I don't think the club have. He's not going to be signing back there anytime soon. He's just using their facilities to get him back up to speed. Obviously, he's another one who's had an injury recently and missed the end of the season. So great to see Joelinton back as well. It's good to see that these players take it seriously because they don't have to, you know. Like they can wait until they're called back for pre-season, which is obviously on the 7th, Monday the 7th of July. But no, these two lads are already doing it beforehand, which is class. That shows you what it's not all about the money. They want to get back playing football because that's what they love. That's why they are footballers. I think some people do forget that. So those two lads, brilliant to see them back. Heartbreak coming up next for Antonio Cordero, who has been an absolute star in the under-19s Euros. Spain lost 1-0 to the Netherlands. He has been an absolute star, loads of plaudits. It's an interesting one because he's took to the tournament so well. The idea was that Newcastle might loan him back out for next season. Obviously, he's just signed from Malaga and that becomes official on the 1st, which is only a couple of days away. Look at his stats, and this is the final. Pretty decent. Look, I think he will be loaned out. I don't think he'll be loaned out straight away. I think the club want to just have a little look at him maybe in pre-season. Maybe a couple of friendlies, and then he heads out, potentially. But he has really caught the eye for the under-19s. I'm not going to say that I've watched every single game. I haven't. I've seen one. That's me being honest. I've seen the highlights, but you can't judge a player after highlights. Very much talented dribbler. Go past players on the left flank, so keep an eye on Cordero to see what happens with him in the summer. We'll bring you that. And then the last one, sticking kind of with the under-21s, is that they've had the EFL draw. This has kind of gone under the radar. We did post this on our socials though. They're playing all the towns. So they played Mansfield Town, Huddersfield Town and Harrogate Town. So Huddersfield and Harrogate, not that far to drive, to be honest, if you fancy a away night at midweek. It's only, an hour and a half drive. How the EFL trophy works is that the under-21s will go against full-strength men's teams. Remember when we played the Maxims in the same competition, our under-21s? But it's the EFL trophy, which has got a sponsored Virtu trophy, I think it's called, or something stupid like that. It's mad, the format, because we beat Mansfield actually 3-0 last season, by the way. It's mad, the format. If you win the game in 90 minutes, you get 3 points. If you draw the game, it goes straight to penalties after 90 minutes. And if you win that penalty shootout, you get 2 points. If you lose that penalty shootout, you still get the 1 point from the draw in 90 minutes. You with me so far? And if you lose the game, whatever, in 90 minutes, you get 0 points. Mental. But maybe it's to increase competition. I don't know. But there you go. And I thought I'd just mention that at the end. So we'll keep an eye on it. I am going to be going a lot more under 21s next season. I've kind of neglected it on the channel. We cover all the men and women, home and away years now that, but I want to do the under 21s as a focus of mine next season. So I'll be getting to more then, bringing some updates from the talented youngsters that we have at the club. But there we go, everyone. If you haven't dropped a like, why haven't you? Cowie, I'm bringing you this content. It's free. We don't charge yous. But yes, we'll love yous and leave yous. I want to know what you think about the main storyline with Joao Pedro. I need a drink of water. But anyways, love yous and leave yous, everyone. Take care. Have a great afternoon and evening. Ta-ra.